Dance of the Eclipse. Saza's mother had told her to be home by noon for lunch, but the forest and fields beckoned her to stay. She had spent the better part of a morning chasing squirrels, and with lesser success, rabbits. Her lunch could wait. It would still be there when she got home. The faint sound of drums distracted Saza from the animals. It called from deeper in the forest. Saza's father had cautioned her never to go too deep into the forest, but the drums were too alluring to be ignored. The animals could wait. They would still be there after she found the source of the drumming. The forest grew thicker as Saza traveled deeper into its heart. The bright midday sun gave way to scattered rays of light that sneaked through the forest canopy. It was an otherwise sunny day, and she could see well enough. As she wandered deeper into the woods, the darkness grew in step with the volume of the drums. Finally, the trees parted and Saza came upon a clearing. A peaceful meadow of grass and flowers, birdsong and breeze. The drums came from this clearing, but Saza could not see their origins. The light of day returned, but not for long. Saza laid on the grass and stared at the sky. A daisy twirled between her fingers. The drums continued, and she had no idea where they came from. Clouds passed in the blue sky. They reminded her of many shapes. Her dog Mappy, a windmill, and a bird's foot. A sliver of darkness cut into the sun. Saza looked away because it hurt her eyes. She rolled over onto her stomach and picked the petals from the daisy, one at a time, always to the beat of the mysterious drums. With each pluck of a petal, she alternated calling out if she would grow up to be a beautiful woman or a rich woman. When she was down to the last two petals, she plucked them both and declared that she would be beautiful and rich, and threw away the stem. Darkness crept over the grass. Maybe rain clouds were coming. She looked to the sky. No rain clouds. But the dark sliver on the sun had grown to cover its majority. Saza looked in awe, then covered her eyes from the power of the sun. One time after a 7-day service, she asked the dawn servant if the sun could ever disappear. The holy man had warned her that if the sun had ever disappeared in the middle of the day, Saza was to head straight home. But the darkness was too alluring to be ignored. Home could wait. It would still be there after the darkness left. All light of day disappeared. Saza watched and waited in wonder. She held her hand in front of her face, but it was too dark to see. The drums grew louder. Their beat was irresistible. A creature appeared in front of her, perhaps the size of a child. In the darkness, it was impossible to tell how large it was, for it was also impossible to tell how far away the creature was. It was made of shadows of light that interrupted the darkness. But it had a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and it used them well. The creature swayed from side to side, always to the beat. Saza felt the rhythm, but was paralyzed with fear. The creature reached for the sky with both arms, then brought them down slowly. The motions of his arms left a blurry trail, of shadowy light. Then it kicked high, spun around, and dropped to one hand and knee, with its head down. A bang accompanied it as it shot up. As it jumped, so did dozens of others. Saza hadn't seen where they came from, but they had appeared around her in a perfect circle. Saza at the circle's center. She stood and turned in a full rotation. Every creature was the exact distance away from her. Her heart raced. For as much as she could make out their appearances, the creatures were identical, all made of light in the absolute darkness. Their movements were in perfect sync as well. It was as if they were mirror images of a single dancer. They nodded and beckoned to Saza, but she was too afraid to approach. Still, their motions captivated her. The next time the creatures raised their arms, Saza followed. Never had she felt so free. No mother to tell her when to come for lunch. She swayed, and in no time was in sync with the dancers. So free. No father to tell her where she could travel into the forest. Freer still. No holy man to make her afraid of the dark. The ultimate freedom. Saza kicked high and spun around, then dropped to one hand and one knee, with her head down. The dark spot left the sun as swiftly as it came. The sky was as bright as should be on a sunny summer's day. The peaceful meadow of grass and flowers, birdsong and breeze, returned as it were mere minutes ago. The plucked petals of daisies scattered in a small area. In the forest nearby, squirrels scampered up trees, storing their nuts for the winter. Rabbits scurried along their well-worn trails. But Saza was nowhere to be found. Saza could wait. The dance of eclipse would still be here when she was gone. On that peaceful summer day, one more joined the dance of the eclipse.